Hi there, folks. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me here at Sapiens Forward. What I want to cover in this video is talk a little bit about what updates happened to Fiverr earlier this year, and more broadly about what that means as it relates to the gig economy and people who make money and do work in that kind of space. So if you're not familiar what I mean by a gig economy, gig jobs, those are anything like DoorDash or working on Fiverr, doing small jobs through these websites and portals, which allow folks who maybe don't have their own company or being incorporated as part of a business to take on different types of work and make some good money, right? Fiverr has been a pretty notable example over the last several years of a portal, a website where people can connect there to do this kind of work. Let's just bring up the website and take a look at it. So if you haven't used Fiverr before, but generally speaking, it's a website it's really geared towards connecting freelancers with people who want to do some of the kind of work that maybe freelancers can do. You've checked it out before. Some of those things range from programming, graphic design, digital marketing. In the last few years, really great place you could go to get logos made, or maybe somebody could make a simple website for you. And sometimes the work being done, it's not something that is reserved for super highly sophisticated marketing outfits, but, there's a range of people out there who need different things. So even if you are a seasoned digital marketer and you put together a website and start the SEO like it's no thing, there may be somebody who's never had a website before and they're not even sure how to approach that. And Fiverr has been a portal, has been a matchmaking kind of service really that could connect people who maybe don't have a huge budget for the website and they just want somebody who's like a freelancer who could put something together that's a small project. So all in all, a pretty great thing. And that was another example of a space where, like I said, people who maybe they don't have a full company that they're working with as part of an agency. Maybe they're just doing this as kind of a hobby or a side gig, and you want to make some extra money, and they have some of those skills that they can share, but they didn't have a way to connect with people who wanted to, that could potentially want to hire them for that. And so Fiverr created that sort of platform. Good stuff, and glad that was available. Now, of course, obviously one of the things we're talking about in this channel is the emergence of AI into our economy and our society and the systems and tools we use for business and how those are impacting people who are just trying to make a living. As we see, early this year, Fiverr put out some press releases and made some changes to the website indicating that they'd seen a lot of interest and requests for AI services. What that means is could be a variety of things, but ranging from whether that's like content development or graphic design sort of stuff. And they leaned into that pretty heavily. They restructured their website. You can see there's actually an AI services component of their website. They put that in place at the beginning of 2024 and have these ranges of services that involve some kind of AI-based technology. In particular, AI artists, I think, is a really novel concept here. I think this is probably a topic we'll dig into more in the future. But generally speaking, this is a service where there are freelancers who are utilizing tools like DALL, for example, AI model for generating imagery, to create AI-based or AI-enhanced or AI-formulated imagery for a variety of things. And I've used those tools. They're pretty compelling. But why bring this up in this video? Why talk about it now? I'm certainly getting around to this kind of discussion. I think it's interesting to think about, what is the larger impact to the gig economy, the people who make money in those types of jobs or use these types of portals or spaces online to connect with people who might procure their services and allow them to ply their trade. They're now, and have been for this year at Fiverr, sort of competing with AI-based stuff. There's graphic designers, there's programmers, digital marketers, and then there's AI services. And so on one level, you can see it provides maybe a different tier of service, and providing options can be a really great thing. In a capitalism-based society and economy, having options is good. It allows people to invest their resources in what they can afford and what might provide the most value. But as the technology advances, as AI technology advances, if it's not in the back of your mind, it certainly is in mine. As the technology advances, at some point, do some of these other freelancers start to get cut out of the equation because the AI is doing the work at a level that is sufficient to the purchaser's needs? They need a website. Well, there's tools out there you can go and say, hey, ChatGPT or whatever, like, make me a website, take this image and create the code to produce a website for that. If the tool can also create the imagery for you and then create the website, then your last step is really to take all that and find a place to host it. But the writing and translation, more and more throughout the last year or so, the amount of content development being produced and being conducted using some of these AI tools is growing and growing. I like making these videos because you can see very plainly, at least for now, we don't have like an AI bot that's approximating me as a person and trying to simulate me. But just talking like this, this is real, right? This is as real as it gets for me. Just kind of having a conversation with the larger audience out there. For those people who are just putting together websites, just plain just text content, or just putting posts out on social media channels, it's just text content. It's really hard to say, is any of that being written by a person, or is it just being output by an AI tool? So my point of kind of digging into this topic here and looking at Fiverr and thinking about it is, what long term, or what perhaps in the short term, but also thinking long term, is going to happen to the gig economy for people who depend on these types of matchmaking websites and portals and channels to allow them to make some money, when those same channels are now essentially putting them up at competition with AI. Now, there are certainly people still involved with some of these, like as we saw here, like AI artists. I've seen examples of some of the people do this and even write about and say, hey, this is great, and they're using that. There's always advancement of technology in art itself, sure. I mean, the types of media and tools used for painting have changed over the years. I mean, you even might see like a street fair or carnival, some artists there making pictures with spray paint. I mean, I think that's so cool. I mean, could you have imagined that, in the time of the Renaissance, it's all oil painting, but using spray paint cans to make these really neat pieces of art. Is that art? I mean, art is in the eye of the beholder, right? I mean, that's a phrase that's been said. But yeah, I still think that sort of thing is art. It's taking somebody's skill. I do think, though, just pondering about the idea of, is this AI art actually art? Are they artists? It's starting to get a little bit murky. If you're just expressing something, giving a prompt, and then just kind of working with output. I mean, there's not even any like physical, tactile skill to it. It's pretty tricky. I don't want to pass judgment yet, but it's definitely kind of a philosophical judgment there. But that's all to say, there are people that are bound to be cut off from a source of income as these matchmaking services, if they continue to shift towards relying on or promoting AI-based tools as opposed to those products and services being produced by humans. As the technology increases, it may be more and more. And looking at the press releases and information from Fiverr, they're certainly excited about it. And they stand to make a lot of money from this because they're undoubtedly going to retain a larger share of the revenue from those projects. If there's no people to pay out, they keep it all. So they're certainly incentivized to seek out and continue to incorporate AI-based systems as part of the options on their platform to provide the services that people want. So we'll keep an eye on this stuff. We'll look for other examples of this happening out there. But as always, really think hard about what you're using AI for, how it can serve you, and if you're actually just serving the AI instead. Thanks for watching.